52.92, a new high school national record.
Back to back to back to back state champions.
NET Sports, Nebraska's home for sports, is live from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska for the 2017 NSAA Football Championships. And this afternoon, our second state championship showdown of the day. It's the number 2 ranked BDS Eagles at 12-0, taking on the Blue Hill Bobcats, also at 12-0. And hello again, everyone. I'm Larry Putney, along with former Husker Damon Bidding. Good to have you back with us this afternoon. We crowned one state champion earlier this morning, getting ready to do it again this afternoon. BDS, they've made almost an annual rite of coming down here to Memorial Stadium. They've been down here so many times, and they're going to count on an outstanding quarterback.
Yeah, you know, in John Christensen, they're getting a good one. Just a junior, but had a chance to watch a guy like Cale Kleinschmidt run this offense for a few years. And when your coach says that John is a lot like Cale, you know you're in good hands. It will be his poise and his balance today, equally as adept a thrower as he is a runner, and he takes really good care of the football. Only 3 interceptions on the year. He's going to see a good defense. He'll have to be good today.
Blue Hill also led by their quarterback, but a different kind of quarterback.
Yeah, he can really tote the mail. He's got over 175 carries on the season, and John Rouse is a home run hitter. Good agility, good quickness, good straight ahead speed. The key for this matchup today with Rouse, he's going to see a tough defense in BDS, his health. If he's going to amass that many carries, how crisp will he be come fourth quarter?
The newest member of our NET Announce family is Doug Duda. He's down on the field.
Hey, thanks, guys. Speaking of John Rouse, this is a guy that has just gotten better as the playoffs have moved along. Last week in the semifinals out at Mullen, his best game as a high school football player, nearly 300 yards rushing, and just accounted for 5 of the 6 touchdowns in their win against Mullen. You got the classic East versus West today as well, guys. For most of the year, BDS, Falls City, Sacred Heart. They were clearly 1 and 2 in most people's opinions. That was a rematch from last year's state playoffs, and that's just been a great rivalry between those two teams. BDS, as you mentioned, they're used to this. 2014 runner-up, 2015 champion, and then lost in that close heartbreaker at the semifinals last year to Sacred Heart. They're able to beat Sacred Heart twice this year and really take care of them in pretty good fashion last week. You take a look at Blue Hill. Defensively, they've had to overcome some injuries. They've done a great job against running teams the last 2 weeks. Alex Horkey, of course, the 2,000-plus yard rusher for Twin Loop. Then they saw another one in Lane Edis last week from Mullen, and they were able to maybe not stop them, but at least contain them, make it cut it back inside to where the strength of the defense were. Look out for number 18 in Carr today for Blue Hill. He's going to be key if he's 100% fully healthy coming off an injury late in that game against Mullen. Blue Hill was here 3 straight years from 06 to 08, but they were playing 8-man or 11-man football at that time. They won the championship in 08. Ironically, the first 8-man game they ever played, BDS, the first game of the year 4 seasons ago. So we'll see if they're able to avenge that 7-point loss here today in the finals. Larry, Damon, back to you.
And that, Damon, is why we have Doug Duda on the field. Right? This guy covers 8-man football all year. He gets the history, knows the background.
He's a walking Rolodex. I don't like to say that many nice things about him anymore, but that's okay. That one he's earned. He is well studied and good at his craft.
Here's a look at the schedule for BDS. They are 12-0 on the year. Really have not been challenged much of the season. The Falls City Sacred Heart was a tight game, 24-14, and then they came back and beat them in the playoffs, as you just heard Doug say, in the semifinals of the playoffs, 50-16. So BDS has really been rolling through its schedule as the top team in the state, and they are unbeaten still. By the way, they were down in that Falls City Sacred Heart game at halftime, 6-0. Came back to win it easily, 50-16. Here's a look at the schedule for the Bobcats of Blue Hill. They're also 12-0. They too have an average of 50 points per game and just allow 19 per game. And you see their schedule there. They knocked off Mullen 42-30 in the semifinals to advance here to Memorial Stadium. So a couple of terrific teams, 2 teams who have experience as communities of being down here. Obviously, it's been a while since the Blue Hill Bobcats were here. They were here in 2006-07, and they won it in 2008, whereas the BDS Eagles were here in 2014. Really felt like they were overmatched in that game in 2014, physically pounded, I think is the way that Mark Roeder put it, the head coach of BDS, or co-head coach. They came back in 2015, rededicated themselves to the weight room, rededicated themselves to being more physical and strong up front, came back and won it in 2015. Made the playoffs last year, did not make it down here because they lost to Falls City Sacred Heart, as Doug said. But back here again to win one in 2017. And now for the introduction of the players, let's go to our public address announcer.
The Eagles and the Blue Hill Bobcats. And now for the introduction of the players and the coaches. First for the visiting team on the scoreboard, the BDS Eagles. Number 2, Dalton Kleinschmidt. Number 3, Caden Norder. Number 6, Thomas Mick. Number 8, John Christensen. Number 9, Garrett Shard. Number 10, Jacob Schwarzentruber. Number 11, Carson Dixon. Number 12, Holden Stengel. Number 13, Isaac Else. Number 16, Zach Mosier. Number 34, Justin Stengel. Number 54, Hayden Carlson. Number 58, Kellen Reich. And number 71, Trevor Whitesell. Co-head coaches for BDS are Mark Roeder and Chris Artisono. And now, the rest of the BDS Eagles, players and coaches. And now for the home team on the scoreboard, the Blue Hill Bobcats. Number 3, John Rouse. Number 6, J.C. Himmelberg. Number 16, Grace Akingay. Number 18, Brenton Carr. Number 21, Joe Mackin. Number 22, McCoy Menke. Number 27, Lane Dicely. Number 30, Jacob Canterbury. Number 33, Ethan Sharp. Number 42, Brent Court. Number 61, Tony Bauman. Number 77, Grant Streff. Number 80, Ethan Rockholt. And number 88, Tim Mackin. The head coach for Blue Hill is John Coffey. And now the rest of the Blue Hill Bobcats, players and coaches.
So it's the Bobcats at 12-0 and BDS also at 12-0. Here's a look at the two teams. You see points per game very similar. Points allowed, a few less by BDS, and the takeaways dead even. Should be a tight, close game here for the D2 title this afternoon at Memorial Stadium.
They're two good teams that are explosive on offense but can turn you over on defense, and have seen some good tailbacks here the last couple weeks in the playoffs. The running game, much more reliant. Well, if you're a Blue Hill fan than you are BDS. You have a little bit more versatility if you're BDS. We'll see which one reigns supreme.
Let's go back to our public. First, let's take a look at how they got here. It was Blue Hill knocking off Twin Loop, and then that was a tough game. It was a field goal with 6 seconds left that led Blue Hill over Twin Loop. They knocked off Mullen, BDS with wins over Wynot and Falls City Sacred Heart.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets dragged there the
National anthem performed by the Gothenburg High School Quartet. We're ready for football here at Memorial Stadium. And in the next couple hours, we will crown a champ in Class D2. Will it be BDS or Blue Hill? Come back and find out on NET Sports.
With the Aurora Cooperative, you have a trusted partner who looks well beyond the horizon. We're putting our owner's equity to work every day by anticipating what you'll need tomorrow, creating what's next for your farm. A portfolio of innovation that supports every aspect of your operation, and an unwavering commitment to your success, however you measure it.
My farm, my cooperative, my future.
The Aurora Cooperative.
For me, asking why is just getting started.
It's more than an activity. It's me doing what I love.
I'm not a stereotype. When I rewrite the rules, things get better.
I know that all these experiences matter.
These moments will help me become something more.
Little things always lead to something bigger.
Do it.
Track it.
Earn it.
What you're doing now will help you get scholarships later. Find resources from Education Quest at trackyoursuccess.org.
Participating in Nebraska high school activities has taught me about teamwork.
I've learned how to lead among my peers.
At my high school, I have set goals and I work hard to accomplish them.
I like to run on my cross country team. It makes me feel good about myself.
The Nebraska School Activities Association providing opportunities in 25 activities in our 303 high schools. NSAA activities, the other half of education.
Watch NCAA volleyball on NET Sports. Iowa versus Nebraska, Saturday, November 25th at 7 Central on NET.
Live streaming for the NSAA State High School Football Championships is also available at the NET website and on the free NET Nebraska app.
It might be a bit breezy, but we could not ask for a better afternoon for football here in mid-November at Memorial Stadium. 58 degrees, so pleasant temperatures for those in attendance here to watch a Class D2 state championship. The officiating crew for this Class D2 showdown is Stephen Hanklet, Jeremy Wopel, Steve Earhart, Paul Burbach, and the back judge is Aaron Kruger, and as always, our red hat is Rick Stromer. So about ready to go here in Class D2. BDS and Blue Hill both undefeated on the season, both at 12-0. Head coach for the Bobcats of Blue Hill, John Coffey, in his third year, 28-5 overall. He was an assistant back in 2006 and 2007 when they made this state championship. Co-head coaches for the BDS Eagles, Mark Roeder, Chris Ardisino.
It's interesting how they make that work.
Yeah.
And then they both defer in titles too. Good testament to it not being about them or whatever it is that you call them.
There's
they understand the job that they do.
That's right. There's Ardisino, who's making their 6th trip here to Memorial Stadium. This senior class for BDS, the Eagles, comes in with a record of 36-1.
That's pretty impressive.
If you think they've gone deep into the playoffs in 14, 15, 16, it's almost like in those 3 seasons they've had an extra season of playing football.
Yeah, just playoff performances alone.
Yep. Seniors are getting a lot of extra time and
gives you a good opportunity to build depth as well.
Right. So on there to kick it away is Holden Stengel, the 6'1 senior, back deep for the Blue Hill Bobcats. Joe Macklin, Trace Okinga. That is well through the end zone. Into the back end zone as well. You'll see the field here if you didn't work with us this morning. This is an 80-yard field, so they've reconfigured Memorial Stadium to fit the dimensions of an 8-man field. You see the sidelines have been pulled in, 80 yards long, so the actual yard markers that you see that are permanently affixed to Tom Osborne Field here at Memorial Stadium are not accurate. That's actually the end zone, not the 10-yard line. So we'll start it off with the Bobcats with the ball. There is John Rouse, quarterback, the direct snap to Lane Deasley. Deasley out to about the 20-yard line.
Really important, especially for Blue Hill early, to stay on schedule offensively. It's a very stout defensive front for BDS, and so staying on schedule to give yourself a chance to calm your nerves early will be important.
Rouse, the quarterback. He gets the snap, follows the blockers up into the hole, and they're just going to challenge here early BDS to slow this rushing attack, and they will pound the ball behind that big offensive line of Streff, Bauman, and Sharp.
Yeah, something's got to give here with this matchup, right? The immovable force and irresistible object. The D-line of BDS prides itself on stopping the run with a lot of meat up front, but Blue Hill, not small in their own right. They'll try to cram it down your throat as well.
Bring up third down and short here, third and about 6 inches. They just need the 25-yard line. Leans forward, enough for the first down of the carry by Deasley.
Deasley, a really hard-nosed runner. What you see is what you get. He's a lot like 3D, right? He comes straight at you, and it constantly seems like it's in your kitchen. He knew it was 6 inches.
Absolutely. 25 touchdowns on the year, 1,300 yards for the Bobcat running back. Rouse, quarterback, on the reverse. Gives it to Carr, and Carr with some room out past the 30-yard line to about the 32. Trenton Carr, 6'3" senior.
It's the little things, too. You saw Carr along the sidelines. He had a chance to maybe stretch it out, maybe look to try to do something bigger, but took what he knew he had, and that was to get upfield immediately. Puts him in a second, and that's a win on first down. It's 2nd and 5 now.
Rouse, 1,400 yards rushing from that quarterback spot. He'll follow his blockers to the left, has some room, slips through, another first down. Finally stopped by Jacob Schoenholtz from that defensive tackle spot, getting to the outside to make the play.
Really good job by Schoenholtz playing the action line. A lot of teams that Blue Hill has faced, that would have been a touchdown. You get the lead blocker and the nice puller out in front, and Rouse is a lot of times able to split that, but good coaching, playing the action line, getting down the line of scrimmage limits that, because he almost came out of the back end.
For a first down, so on the opening drive here for the Bobcats, a couple of important first downs as they make their way near midfield, now at the just past the 36-yard line. First down and 10 for the Bobcats. As will drop back to pass. Looks downfield under pressure, and he's going to be dragged down from behind. Nice play from that linebacker spot for Carson Dixon. Dixon actually defensive end, 6'4" senior.
Good player in his own right as we take a look at it, but this one's more about coverage. Now Rouse tries to step up into the pocket. Dixon comes around the back end. Just no real place to go with the football. BDS sees a good passer in practice every day. They'll look to be more than formidable against this passing attack from Blue Hill.
So now behind schedule, Davis, 2nd down and 12 after the loss of 2. That's going to be a flag. 2 men in motion at the same time.
That's only good when they use 12 men up there north of the border in Canada. 12 greater than 8 is, I think, even my seasoned veteran friend up there.
I know you can get a running start up there too.
Well, you listen.
5 yards back, you just dead sprint, right?
12 greater than 8, so you've got that down. You can add and subtract 10 to use the yardage on this field.
You're giving me too much credit.
Figure arithmetic is in your wheelhouse.
So that will be a 5-yard penalty marched off, makes it 2nd down and 16 now. Rouse steps up, then drops back, looking downfield, and now he'll take off under pressure. Popped hard on the shot by John Christensen. He has 64 tackles on the year.
Outstanding coverage down the field. Just nobody open or any place to go with the football. Rouse trying to be patient, want to establish a good passing game. It's pretty good pass protection as well. Just a lot of want to right there from that BDS D line.
3rd down and long here for the Bobcats. Certainly a run-oriented team that's got a bit more to the pass the last couple of games in the playoffs.
They're playing man-to-man here.
Rouse dropped from behind, and once again, it's Carson Dixon.
Right now, Dixon coming off the edge has been the difference. I think he likes his matchup from that right end spot. Just, oh, really good hands. That's football 101, right? The first guy to use his hands usually is the guy that can win as long as you're utilizing good leverage. Really did a number right there on Grant Streif.
Joe Mackin in there to kick it away. The punt is off the side of his foot and out of bounds. And it will be terrific field position for the BDS Eagles when they come back with their first possession from here at Memorial Stadium.
Talk about public power for a second. Did you know Nebraska is the only state in the nation served entirely by public power electric utilities? Community-owned utilities mean Nebraskans are working for Nebraskans. Just another way your electric utility shows how public power works for you. Let's talk about public power for a second. Did you know Nebraska's electric utilities are governed by locally elected or appointed boards and councils? This means you have a voice in the decisions made by your local utility. Just another way your electric utility shows how public power works for you.
Just underway here, first quarter action from the Tom Osborne Field at Memorial Stadium here in Lincoln, the Class D2 state championship game between BDS and the Bobcats of Blue Hill. First look for this offense of BDS led by quarterback John Christensen. Drops back to pass, just tipped away. Nice play defensively for the Bobcats.
Yeah, good recognition by Dicely there playing the linebacker spot. He's already moving with motion. You can tell if they've done a good job of scouting. Tried to hit the crossing route right behind him. Was there for the taking too. That ball gets through there. He's still probably running.
Christensen ran for 148 yards as he gets through the middle here and has some open running room. Breaks a couple of tackles, and look out! Christensen is gone! Second offensive play of the game for the Eagles.
A big, strong quarterback right there. You saw all of it. Outstanding job. See, that's one of my favorite things to do as a guy that's a connoisseur of the ground game. Not messing around when you see that crease. I didn't try to do too much. Saw the crease, sped through the crease. Forced those guys to make plays on you. He comes out of the back end, and it's a quick 6-0.
Christensen with the 46-yard touchdown run. Now the two-point try. Escapes the defender, throws back across the middle, and complete for the two-point conversion. Terrific job, and the completion to Garrett Sharp, and Christensen and company are on top here in quarter number one, 8-0.
Yeah, you can see what makes him a handful, right? You see the little quarterback counter here. He finds the crease. Uncharacteristic poor tackling from Blue Hill. He jogs in, and then as you see on the two-point conversion, has enough poise and savvy, goes back against the grain, finds the open receiver, sitting it down for the two-point conversion. You'll see him be a force on defense as well. Really, really good players, John Christensen.
Well, you can watch NET Sports anytime, anywhere. You can download the free NET Nebraska app. Do that right now. You can watch college player profiles, full-length episodes from Big Red Wrap-Up, live web streams, and so much more. Just search for NET Nebraska in the App Store, or you can download it free at netnebraska.org/apps.
Tell you, if you're Blue Hill, I know it's early, but you know the prowess of BDS. You know what they come in with. They have been talked about for the last few years. These are those guys. And so if you're Blue Hill,
Yeah, take a deep breath. Get your composure. It's a long game. Don't panic early.
Driven back through the end zone once again on the second kick through the end zone by Holden Stengel. Down in the field to Doug Duda.
Well, and to that point, Damon, about not rushing things here, if Blue Hill's able to keep up touchdown for touchdown, it'll be interesting to see what they do on the conversion, because they will kick it. As you guys mentioned in the pregame, Mackin hitting the field goal in the final 10 seconds to beat Twin Loup 2 weeks ago. So do they chase the points, or do they stay with what they want to do?
Better start with finding out something to do with Carson Dixon on the edge.
Direct snap again. Not much there as that BDS defense stifles once again. Leading the way again, Christensen along with Stengel. Caden Norder, first person there.
Yeah, you see a lot of white jerseys at the line of scrimmage, and then the run fits that are soon to follow. Everybody playing with good gap integrity.
Again, one in the last play, 2nd and 9. Nothing there for Dicely. Lane Dicely is dropped for no gain. That'll bring up 3rd down and long. So the second 3rd and long situation for the Bobcats.
Obviously not ideal when you're off schedule, but if you're Blue Hill, you've got to find a way to try to generate a 1st down here to at least momentarily quell the momentum. It can get away from you in a hurry when you're playing BDS.
Under pressure again, dropped for the 3rd time by Carson Dixon.
So you have to find a way to keep him honest, whether it's a screen, you might have to run zone game at him, make him slow down and force between, you know, dive and quarterback. But right now, any 3rd and long or obvious pass rushing situations, he's just too good out there on the edge. He's got the nice long reach, plays with his hands. These guys are a handful to play against.
So Mackin again will punt this away. Much better kick this time after that 18-yarder the first time out. Christensen breaks 1 tackle, spins around after a tough hit, returns it into Bobcat territory. Let's take a look back at last year's D2 state title game.
Last year, the Falls City Sacred Heart Irish won their 8th title in as many tries. After trailing Twin Loup 14-0 early, the Irish pulled back to go into halftime tied at 22. The Irish's Drew Bippis helped Sacred Heart score 14 unanswered points, throwing for 1 touchdown and running for another. The strong second-half surge for Falls City Sacred Heart helped them win their first Class D2 state championship since 2013 and their 8th overall.
So a 15-yard personal foul penalty against Blue Hill will mark it off, and that gives the Eagles terrific field position here. At the 22-yard line. Christensen back in there again, now rolls to his right, looking downfield, has his man just through the fingertips of the intended receiver, Garrett Short, who wants that one back.
Now that's Mr. Sure-handed too. Sometimes they call him Garrett Sure just to let everybody else know. But again, you see the athleticism of Christensen. That's on the move, going to his right, back towards the middle of the field, and he was right on the money. Take a look at our couple of our impact players. We've already seen one in Carson Dixon. He has been a handful defensively. They're going to need Ethan Sharp to be that guy. Blue Hill will. Got to tackle well in space.
So I believe we have an offsides call on the Bobcats. A little anxious there. That'll mark off 5 and make it 2nd down and 5. Look at head coach John Coffey in his 3rd year as head coach. 28-5. Looked like the option. He saw the gap. Turned it up, and it'll bring up 3rd and short.
Definitely on schedule. Just a powerful offensive line up front. Don't make a whole lot of bones about it with window dressing, how they try to attack you. You play downhill and get a hat on a hat.
BDS had a tough semifinal in that win over number 2 ranked Falls City Sacred Heart. They won it 50-16. And this man Christensen in that game rushed for 148 yards in that game. Had 2 passing touchdowns, threw for another 131.
Did I see that right? Was that a 50-point half?
The final was 50-16. You might be right.
I think it was 6-0 at the half.
Yeah. Yes, because they trailed 6-0. You're right.
I get so used to not paying attention to score. I just watch ODK, offense, defense, and kick on huddle.
Well, you can certainly see the running back in Christensen. I mean, great quarterback, great poise, but he was the running back on the 2015 championship team, and he leans forward and in for the touchdown. 2nd rushing touchdown of the game for John Christensen.
Yeah, concern for a teammate there.
It's going to be Jacob Schoenholtz who's down.
You never want to see that happen. Looked like he had grabbed his hamstring originally. But Christensen gets those shoulders square, doesn't he?
Yeah.
His good size. Have to really be committed to tackling. It's not something you can just get out of bed and think about doing.
While they check on Schoenholtz, we'll take a quick break and be back at Memorial Stadium.
Sportsmanship is the golden rule of sports. You should always treat others the way you want to be treated.
Let the coaches coach, the referees ref, the fans cheer, and the players play.
The memories you make now will last a long time, but the lessons you take away will last a lifetime.
Right here and right now, I want all of you to decide. What kind of impact are you going to leave today?
Download the NET Radio Nebraska mobile app, offering reliable streaming of our news, classical, and news jazz channels. There's more on-demand content from NPR and NET. With this app, you can pause and rewind the live audio, view program schedules, and explore a variety of stories and interviews from NET News, Friday Live, and All About Books. It's free. Look for the NET Radio Nebraska app in the iTunes and Android markets.
So Schoenholtz helped off the field, walking on his own. They continue to check him out on the sideline. That'll bring up a 2-point try opportunity. And Christensen calls his number again and walks in. No trouble at all. 16-0 here early on. Bruning-Davenport Shickley.
Yeah, that's the little cat and mouse game that Blue Hill will have to play. If Dicely is going to play the motion and widen out of the box, there is a natural crease. You're going to have to use somebody out of the secondary to fit in the run game. Otherwise, that'll be stealing. Watch Dicely widen here as he moves towards his left. He's anticipating some sort of sweep. Got to pick your poison. You know, we say time of possession can sometimes be a little bit overrated. Well, 4 plays, 22 yards, and 50 seconds later, BDS takes a 16-0 lead. They've had the ball exactly 1 minute and 3 seconds, and they lead 16-0.
Still 4:45 to go here in this first quarter of play from Memorial Stadium for the Class D2 title. Christensen really does a nice job of getting everybody involved in the offense. Not only is he one of the ball carriers that has his four other ball carriers in addition to himself, with 200+ yards rushing on the season. 5 receivers have a touchdown or more. It's a While we've seen a lot of Christensen here early, it's a very diverse offense for the Bobcats.
Make no mistake, though, he's the guy that makes it go.
Absolutely. Right through the fingertips of Joe Mackin, who looked like he wanted to return it. And this Wednesday on NET World, Big Red Wrap-Up moves up to a special time due to the high school football championships. You can join Andy Kendi, who is going to be in for Kevin Kugler, Blake Lawrence, Sean Callahan, as they'll recap the Penn State game. Look ahead to Friday's game against Iowa with special guest Aaron Sorensen from thelandof10.com. You don't want to miss Big Red Wrap-Up on NET World Wednesday at 7 Central and again 10 p.m. on NET. Here's the carry by John Rouse. Had some success early with that play, but BDS has done a nice job of adjusting.
Yeah, Christensen did a really good job of meeting him, not where he was, but where he thought he was going. Really good job with the discipline on the run fit between him and Scharf. Not a lot of running lanes as you're looking at it from our vantage point. May have to use BDS's speed against them. Some sort of counter screen throwback game.
This is a tough BDS defense to move the ball on. Incomplete pass. Pass intended for Trent Court. Just missed him. BDS has just allowed 190 yards per game to their opponents.
Yeah, that's extremely stingy. That's a play right there that Ross would like to have back. A well-executed RPO. We saw it in the first matchup this morning where that corner comes up in run support with the quarterback on the edge. He's got the ability to throw to the vacated spot where the wide receiver is typically running wide open. He'd like to have that one back.
So 3rd down and 8. Keep it himself. Out near a 1st down, but that's going to be short. In fact, a few yards short. It'll bring up 4th down for the Bobcats.
Yeah, too early to really think about going for this. You don't want to play your way out of the game in the 1st quarter. You can't win a game in 1 quarter, but you sure can lose it.
Joe Mackin back in there now to punt it away for Blue Hill. Angled to the, took a little bit of bounce, picked up there by Christensen. And a nice return back to the 35-yard line. So BDS Eagles already with a 2-touchdown lead at 16-0, trying to tack onto that here on their 3rd possession early in this 1st quarter.
Blue Hill, it's going to boil down to 2 things. You have to be disciplined on defense, and you're going to have to tackle extremely well. You're going to get a couple players from BDS out in space. You've got to make plays when you're in position.
Christensen with the middle screen. Nice job by the interior line for the Bobcats. Play made there by Trent Court along. That was Dicely there as well. Yes, Dicely.
I like Dicely early. Does a really good job of recognizing. You can tell that they do a good job of preparation. It's one thing to know what's coming. Way to get off of there. See, he's not sticky at all. Uses his hands. Gets off the block. Don't be sticky out here.
Christensen will keep. He's got some room again up the middle. Enough for a 1st down and a big gain of 19 yards on the carry by Christensen.
Similar concept to the play that we talked about earlier, where you use a little bit of motion or you widen Dicely in the box with the 2-back set. You see the motion coming. Dicely widens, and look at the vacated space. That is going to be something that they can repeat until Blue Hill decides how they want to play the sweep if Scharf were to get it on the edge.
Outside, got some room, little stutter step in there for the touchdown.
That's just outstanding coaching. That's knowing who you are in your concept. Now they come back and they show you the sweep motion. Blue Hill is probably thinking, well, we can't widen because of the quarterback counter game. If you don't widen with the motion, they turn the corner on you on the sweep. Well conceived, or what I would call pet or companion plays for BDS.
Thomas Mick with the touchdown to make it 22 here in the first quarter. Now trying the 2-point conversion, and it walks in, does Mick once again. 24-0. And early on here, BDS threatening to walk away with this D2 state title game.
Yeah, floodgates are a little leaky. They're going to have to find a way to get it to stop here. How about this? The patience waiting for the block. Does the rest down the sidelines. It's a complete football team right now. When you have everything working, the companion plays really serve you well. Nice crackback, sealed the edge.
I want to remind you, Husker volleyball continues on NAT Sports this Saturday as the Huskers take the court against the Hawkeyes. From Iowa, you can watch live action from the Bob Devaney Sports Center beginning at 7 Central on NAT. Nebraska's home for sports. We are not far away from the postseason. And Nebraska volleyball well positioned to not only host first round, but second round, a regional, and could actually make the Final Four down in Kansas City.
Yeah, hard to believe that some would have considered this a well, you don't rebuild at Nebraska in terms of volleyball. Maybe a little bit of more of a reload for Coach Cook. Maybe a year out. Yeah. But add Coach Cook to the death and taxes, right? Death, taxes, and Coach Cook being very good at his job.
That's right. Let's get out of the field to Doug Duda.
Well, guys, both of these teams in the playoffs wanted to avenge losses from last year. It was in the quarterfinals for Blue Hill. They avenged a 2-point loss to Twin Loop, and they came out focused last week and scored 21 on the first quarter against Mullen. Well, for BDS, they wanted to avenge that loss to Falls City Sacred Heart. Looks like there's no layover here. Coach Ardisino says that they really celebrated after that playoff win last week, but no hangover here. 3 first-quarter touchdowns.
No hangover indeed. There is Coach Chris Ardisino. Picked up win number 100 of his career this year.
They are impressive. And it's hard to maintain. And talking with Tony Chapman and a lot of these guys online, those that cover these teams, and maintaining excellence when you're your own benchmark is difficult to do.
The keeper by Rouse. Gain of about 5 yards out to the 20-yard line for Rouse. Second down and 5.
That was some job by Thomas Mick. He had the radar locked and loaded coming out of the secondary. Rouse is not an easy guy to corral. He came from a long way. Look at this angle here. That is outstanding effort.
So they say a 4-yard game, make it second down. Long 5, short 6. Rouse again, left side, enough for the first down. You can see how important Rouse is to this Bobcat offense. There's a look at John Coffey.
Yeah, Coach Coffey's going to have to find some semblance of an interior running game. It's going to be hard to make a living on strictly just the edges. Now, I know the interior of that BDS defense is pretty stout, but you have to have some sort of commitment to keep guys just from running the edges on you.
I think that was Tim Streff we saw. Direct snap. Dicely, not much there as he leans forward for maybe a couple.
Well, it's easy to get discouraged early on when you're not having the kind of success that you want to on the ground, you know, especially on the interior portion of that defense. But again, understanding that it's a 4-quarter game, it's a lot like Novocaine, right? I know Coach Memick out at David City Aquinas would say that's what his offense was like. You just have to give it time and eventually it'll work.
Second down, 7. Rouse again with the carry. Pinched off the edge, making the play. John Christensen.
Wait, is that Christensen is a good football player. Not afraid to stick his nose in there either, is he? Not your average quarterback mentality, but we've seen that a lot at the D2, D1 level where there's so much commitment to the run game from the quarterbacks and then they flip over and they play defense as well. Shoot, in our opener, Rush might have been the best tackler on the field. He played quarterback.
Might be right. Third down and 5. Lead blocking out in front of Rouse. Kicks it to the outside. Very near a first down, but maybe coming up a yard shy. It'll bring up 4th down, and now out near midfield. Here's a tough decision.
I think you got to keep the offense on the field. All right, you need to try to catch a little momentum. You don't want to give the ball back right away. BDS hasn't really shown that they're going to slow down offensively. Got to give yourself a chance here.
They will agree.
Key moment here.
4th down and short. Rouse. Enough for the first down. Up to midfield, the 40-yard line.
A good, tough determination right there. Remember in the opener, you watch him enough, and I knew he was slight in stature, at least on tape. Seeing him live, he's a little smaller than I thought. If he's going to continue to do this, his health come the 4th quarter will be a key, because he's going to take some shots like this. It's a physical game. Tough customer, though, isn't he?
Under center for the first time this afternoon. Give to the fullback, Trent Court. Nowhere for Court to go. Maybe a yard or 2. It'll bring up 2nd down and long, and time will tick down here in this first quarter of play, and it has been all BDS. The Eagles leading this here after quarter number 1, 24-0. 3 offensive possessions for BDS and 3 touchdowns. They lead it after 1 quarter, and Christensen has led the way.
When you're looking for Nebraska's stars of tomorrow, start with the young Nebraskans in 4-H and FFA. That's why Constellation has contributed more than $197,000 to 4-H and FFA in the 60 Nebraska counties we serve. Constellation supplies natural gas for Nebraska homes, farms, ranches, and businesses. By supporting 4-H and FFA, we're providing energy for Nebraska's stars of tomorrow as well. Natural gas supply from Constellation.
The Nebraska Chiropractic Physicians Association is pleased to sponsor the NSAA Academic All-State Award Program, recognizing students and athletes who shine in the classroom and on the field. This statewide program recognizes academic excellence, leadership, and athletic achievement in over 20 high school sports and activities. We honor these exceptional students and all of the teachers, coaches, and parents who have mentored them. Together, we can continue to make Nebraska a great place to live, learn, and play.
Coverage of the 2017 NSAA High School Football Championships on NET is made possible in part by Nebraska Public Power District, Nebraska Soybean Board, Education Quest, Methodist College, Constellation, and Aurora Cooperative. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support. Well, at any day, at any time, the person driving next to you could be impaired. In an NET special, Drugged Driving, it explores the dangerous trend of driving under the influence of illicit drugs, over-the-counter pills, or even prescription medications. You don't want to miss this. Drugged Driving, Thursday night, 10:30 Central on NET, or watch anytime at netnebraska.org/drugged-driving. Coaching going on there by John Coffey on the sideline.
You always like to see that. Whenever you get a chance to steal some mental reps, do it.
So 2nd down and 8 here. First time for the Bobcats into BDS territory. The keep again by Rouse. Nice gain for Rouse. That'll bring up 3rd down. About 2.
I like the concept. You rifle the back out of the backfield. You keep 4 in the box for BDS against your 4 if you count. Your quarterback is your 4th ball carrier. That's mano-y-mano. Rouse is dangerous.
How about the 175 carries on the year?
That's a lot. That got my attention right away for his size.
15 already, and we're just beginning quarter number 2. Not much there on 3rd down, and that's led once again by Christensen. Check that. Yep, John Christensen leading the way.
You almost get the sense as a quarterback that his football IQ allows him to know what the offense is trying to do to him as well. Always in position to make plays.
Early on in the second quarter, down 24-0. They've got a 4th and 2, and the Bobcats will go. And this is an important early 4th down here for Blue Hill. Keep by Rouse. Got the corner, but going to be very close to a 1st down. And based on that spot right at it, looks like he might have it.
Yeah, I think you got to move the sticks there. That was some tackle. He did not allow Rouse to go forward at all. I believe this was Christensen again. I mean, oh no, that was Sheriff. Look at this. Hit him at the 40, stopped him at the 40.
He got a good spot there, and the spot gave him the 1st down.
He did. Thought the left or right foot would be paramount.
You got the second left foot there.
How about Sheriff coming downhill?
So 1st down and 10 here for the Bobcats. Deepest penetration of the game for Blue Hill. Has to be wide open out there. Bobcat touchdown. Stuck out of the backfield. Did McCoy Menke wide open for 6.
I tell you, nice design. Load to sleep, load to sleep, load to sleep. Wow, right over the top, sneaks right out of the backfield. She might have been playing that wing spot.
Wow.
You hear coaches a lot talk about eye discipline, right? When your eyes are in the wrong place, things like that happen. And offenses like this can play tricks with you. You think you know, you think you know, you think you know, and you get the pet play.
2-point conversion good, and the completion to his wideout, Menke, who just caught the touchdown. That'll tighten it up a bit, 24-8.
Now that's a heck of an answer. Oh, I like that. Menke showed like as though he was going to crack. You know, he'd been showing that look. In a 2-point conversion, you get the little rub route, little inside-outside combo. Well done.
Big answer there for the Bobcats.
Much needed. Now you got to get a stop. Right now, you haven't shown any semblance of being able to slow BDS down. This could be big. It's an 11-play, 65-yard drive. Took a little over 4 minutes, so you get a chance to at least get your bearings. So many guys go both ways. It's not much rest. They needed a big play and got one with a 30-yarder to Menke. It's a nice answer. You felt the floodgates getting a little leaky.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can watch NET Sports anytime, anywhere. Download the free NET Nebraska app today. You can watch college player profiles, full-length episodes from Big Red Wrap-Up, live web streams, and so much more. Search for NET Nebraska in the App Store or download free at netnebraska.org/apps. Into the end zone goes the kick from Joe Mackin. So BDS with an opportunity now to add to its lead. We'll see if the Bobcats can come up with a big stop here.
Continually coaching. I mean, I think right now he's talking to him about how to handle Dixon on the edge. He has dealt him fits.
Christensen hands it off to Thomas Mick. Spins out of one tackle. Up past the 15 to about the 16-yard line. A gain of 1 for Mick.
I tell you, conceptually, Blue Hill is in a little bit of a bind with that, what I would call that sweep keep game with the extended outside zone. Christensen's really adept at reading this. And Dicely and whomever else is back to the inside on that sweep keep is going to have Christensen one-on-one in the hole.
pulls it out, looks downfield, has a man open. Lifted out there and tipped away. Nice job defensively as it hung just a bit too long. J.C. Himmelberg got in there and knocked it away.
Yeah, Christensen would like to have that one back. Sheriff dropped one earlier. That one, you'd like to give him a better chance at it. Yeah, too much air under that one. Pretty good job of playing the eyes, right?
Yeah, didn't look back, and Himmelberg just got the hand up there and
didn't panic either.
Christensen here with the carry, breaks another tackle up the middle. Look out! Christensen might go. Are they going to catch him? Gone. Touchdown. Christensen, his third of the game. 64 yards for John Christensen.
A little ominous foreshadowing. We talked about the ability to bring him down at the point of attack, number one. But number two, the same concept. There's the veer read, the keep. He splits it. It looks a lot like the first touchdown, just going the other way. You can see it start to develop. Blue Hill is they're in a bind here with what they want to do defensively.
Fired in there and incomplete. First 2-point conversion. They did not convert. So 30-8 the score here. With 9:14 to go before halftime.
The theory is a guy like Christensen is basically why people developed the Wildcat, right? Because you want the extra blocker, and because your quarterback serves as the running back. Well, they get that anyway with Christensen because he runs that offense like a running back. He's got good patience. He understands the scheme up front. He allows it to develop, and then you just have to deal with him in space. Blue Hill's got to find a way to get him to the ground.
You can connect with us on Facebook and Twitter, add a comment, catch up on the latest Nebraska sports information. Be sure to like NET Sports and Big Red Wrap-Up and join in the conversation. You can use the hashtag NET Sports during these NSAA High School Football Championships on Facebook and Twitter. And you could see your posts right here on the air. Speaking of the social media, did you see what former Husker Scott Shanley posted on Twitter?
I did. The pride of St. Ed.
Yeah. Scott Shanley saying he's sitting in Texas watching the D2 championship on NAT. Scott, good to hear you're doing well and glad you're watching.
Yeah, he and his brother Andrew. Boy, those two could win.
He said 8-man football, that's where it all started for him.
Yeah, and you know what? He's got it bode well for him too, because he understood both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I was just having a conversation on social media a little while ago where not a bad idea for kids that are getting involved in youth football to start tackling and playing at the 8-man spot, so you learn the emphasis on both sides of the ball. Not a bad idea at all.
Short gain on the carry for Dicely. Supporting from that strong safety spot, free safety, Thomas Mick with the tackle. Between Dicely and Rouse, they've combined for nearly 3,000, just over 2,800 yards on the year. Second down and 6, and here is Rouse. Breaks one tackle.
A little miscommunication between, I think, Dicely. You can't leave John Christensen unblocked at the line of scrimmage. Never pass one to get one is the rule that we like to say.
Third down and 5. Trying to hit Geisler in the backfield under pressure, and he's dropped. Good coverage, sack again, and finally Carson Dixon got there.
Yeah, when he gets back to the sidelines or actually flips over and plays offense, he's just going to have to say thank you to that secondary. While he's been relentless getting after the passer, he has had some time with the way that this secondary has locked Blue Hill up. He plays through the whistle, doesn't he? That's the third of the 4 effort sacks that we've seen. He just stays with it.
Cameron Dixon on the other side also helped out Carson. From the 20. Returned by Garrett Sharp. Up to about the 37-yard line. 43-yard punt.
Sharp's a good-looking player, isn't he? Long, angular. He's going to get one in the passing game here shortly.
Well, now it's time for our NSAA Championship Trivia. You can be the first person to email the correct answer to sports@netnebraska.org, and you'll win an NET Sports Crew t-shirt, size extra large. The trivia question, who is the current NSAA 8-man record holder for most touchdowns in a career? If you can be the first correct email to sports@netnebraska.org, you'll win the NET Sports Crew t-shirt. Remember, just one winner per household during the 2017 championships. Current 8-man record holder for most touchdowns in a career.
Maybe the decade?
This.
The 2000s?
Even the 2010s.
I might be able to handle that.
Looking downfield, nice crossing pattern, waiting for him to clear, and right on target finds his open receiver, Caden Norder.
Well, these drag routes are really something else in 8-man. They are tough to stop with all the flow coming away from you. You sit down and all of a sudden you got a free runner crossing your face.
Already 149 for Christensen. He had 148 in their semifinal win, and flag on the play. Christensen trying to get the corner, run out of bounds. That will likely bring them back.
I'm gonna have to check with Doug and see what Christensen's real size is. He looks different than everybody else. I wonder what the real disparity is. He is well put together. Well, they list him at 6'1", 205. He looks bigger than that.
Strap, not buckled. White, 5-yard penalty.
Got to be sure to buckle it up.
Well, you almost never see that call.
Yeah, it's rare. Let's go down to the field to Doug Duda.
Well, they had to find something negative against BDS, I guess, guys. I mean, what are you going to do there? But you talked about how big Christensen is. You know, he does get in the huddle. There are bigger guys, there's no doubt about it, but he's just got such a quick first step.
Takes it again, right up the middle, spins out of one. Could it be 4? Touchdown, his 4th here in the first half.
All right, now he's putting on a show. He's putting on his own show. It's to calm, cool customers, not too excited. Nope. Seems like we get one of these every time we're together, right?
That's right. I think it's going to be a competitive, tight game, and one team just has an outstanding player step up and take over the game.
And we've seen some spectacular individual performances, right? We saw Pellin a couple years ago for Aquinas. We've seen Mazur, who scored every way imaginable.
Mazur was, yeah, it came immediately. Boy,
we saw Thramer from, was it O'Neill?
Yep.
Playing quarterback. He was outstanding. Saw the tackling machine from Oakland, Craig. I mean, we have seen some great individual performances, and Christensen doing his best to be part of that discussion. He's just a handful in traffic. Again, conceptually, should I say it one more time? You're going to have to figure out what you want to do off the sweep keep game with the puller. He reads it well, runs it like counter downhill. You're almost going to have to stay in the box and dare them to hand the football off. You can't get out of there.
Tried to grab some oxygen there before heading back out. Lift those shoulder pads off the chest, allow that chest to expand a little bit. It's been a busy afternoon already for Christensen.
I'm just not sure how you simulate him in, in your game prep.
How about a per carry average? You got a guess?
Oh, I'll go. He's got to be maybe 12 for 180, probably about 18 yards a carry.
Yeah, 7 carries, 177, 25 yards per carry.
Goodness. You might not see that again.
Oh, it's an impressive showing here early.
We saw Mazur. He returned one.
Yep.
He had a pick 6. He threw one and he ran for one.
Yep.
Yeah, he did it all.
Yeah, right. Mazur was impressive. That was fun to watch. We saw him in the spring game.
Yeah,
thought he
showed a lot of that same stuff we saw.
Really good, yeah. 36-8. 6:30 to go here. House again spins away from a couple of tackles. A gain of 5 out to the 20-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
You got to stay patient here. Stay the course. I mean, this right now with 6:15 to play, you're not playing against the score, right? You're playing against yourselves in terms of how well can we execute one play at a time. You start with that and then see what happens with the scoreboard.
Christensen's there on the stop and a carry by Dicely. Not much there as Dicely tries to pick his way through. Brings up 3rd down.
Carson Dixon showing you a lot of versatility. We've seen him get vertical with his pass rush game and use his hands. This particular play, as we take a look at the replay, watch him sit down on a puller and just stone him in the hole. Boy, I tell you, that was outstanding. Ethan Sharp's probably not used to that kind of collision when he comes around pulling.
On 3rd down, he's got room enough for the 1st down. Up to the 29-yard line on the carry by John Rouse.
That time they did a really good job on Dixon at the point of attack. Based him and got in his hip a little bit. He's one of those guys that is going to be relentless. You got to really run the feet when you're playing with him. They pinned him. He made a little inside move, and he still comes back to make the play.
This is a Bobcat team that loves to run the football. 295 yards rushing per game. But it's also a BDS defense that is stingy against the run. In fact, so stingy it forced Falls City Sacred Heart into 41 pass attempts. Falls City Sacred Heart got behind and just continued to fall behind. 50-16 was the final of that one.
Yeah, and if you're Blue Hill, there's a fine line, right? You want to give yourself a chance to get your way back into the football game, but you have to play to your strengths, and their strengths are running the football. It's an offense that's great if you're playing from ahead, but when you're behind.
I want to remind you to watch college hockey on NET World Friday, December 8th, as the Omaha Mavericks host the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth. Live action begins at 7 Central from Baxter Arena in Omaha on NET World. Dumped out into the flat. Nice catch by Mackin. Mackin run out of bounds, but right at the line to gain. Very close to a 1st down. Looks like he has it.
You get the sense with Mackin being a kick returner that they like him out in space.
And it is enough for a first down.
I'd almost like to see him finish that run. Yeah. We don't make enough money yet to be going out of bounds. Caden Order does go 5'10", 190.
Right. Maybe he had an edge there, pulled it up, cut it inside, but didn't run it out to the sideline.
I haven't talked about Glenn Meyer near enough. He does a really good job for BDS. Plays the action line well. Again, another one of the D linemen. They're good with his hands. And as you take a look at him, watch him playing that nose spot.
Looks downfield.
Guess who?
Spun out of this tackle. And a nice job by Rouse.
At least we know Dixon is human. He had me thinking there for a second. Comes clean on the pass rush, gets his hands on Rouse. Rouse having none of it. Boy, that's a long rangy guy in Dixon that Rouse shook free from. Just look at him play. I mean, he's playing 2 yards deep into your backfield.
Just disposed of the hands too, didn't he?
Yeah, when you have a reach like that and you can use your hands like that, you can be a nightmare for some folks.
So nice gain, brings up 3rd down and 2 as they're back into BDS territory. Dicely with the carry, leans forward out to the 30-yard line, down to the 30. Enough for the first down for the Bobcats.
It's really good second effort. I think that's enough to get it done for him. It's exactly what we were talking about, where you say you're not playing against the score. You're playing their benchmark right now in terms of how they play football. This is vintage Blue Hill right now.
Thrown up and incomplete.
So that's risk reward, right? You want to throw the ball on first down and maybe do something different, but now you're off schedule. 2nd and 10 against a very stingy defense.
.301 to go here before halftime. 36-8 in the D2 title game. House to throw again. As a man. Hit quickly. Nice job by Thomas Mick on the quick tackle off the catch from Dicely.
Yeah, I like the concept there. You run the little slant with the number 1 and Dicely runs the out. And this ball's on time. Boy, Dicely's a tough customer, isn't he? And I like the concept of that play against that zone. It's up to Rouse to be able to play catch. One of the 2 are coming open on the little tandem route.
So with 3rd down and 5, a timeout taken. Coming up at halftime of this Class D2 title game, we'll talk the Nebraska School Activities Association Cross Country Championships. We'll feature on esports, kind of a new program to tell you about at Midland. We're going to stick around for that, and then also first half highlights and statistics. All at halftime of this D2 title game that has been dominated here in half number 1 by the Eagles of BDS. Blue Hill trying to get back to within 20 on a drive here that they've taken time out with 3rd and 5.
2:55 to play here. You kind of play peekaboo with the clock, but most importantly, if this is 2 down or if this is 4 down territory for you, go with your best run play here and put yourselves in it, in worst case scenario, 4th and short. And 2 downs to make 5 yards.
Rouse will keep it around that right side. No room there. Christensen right there to shut it down, along with Nolan Weber.
That's just physics right there. That's 205 versus 165. Christensen sat down. You see how he dropped his bum, squared his hips. Just don't move, guy. Oh, that's textbook.
Blue Hill take another timeout here with 4th down upcoming, 4th and 5 after no gain on that last play.
Pretty impressed with how BDS fits in the run game. There's somebody for everybody. They usually they keep good gap integrity. Sometimes it can be hard to do with so many of the subtle nuances, right? With the motion and your pullers, and not a lot of room for error when it's so easy to count numbers in the box. They do a good job. Pretty sure tackling as well. That's been the difference for me thus far is the tackling. See, those guys are on their NET app, I guarantee you.
A crowned champion early this morning in Class D1. East Butler taking the D1 title here in D2. It's BDS in control. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go before halftime. I might be watching the game on that app, huh? Look at Carson Dixon already.
Yeah, stat sheet stuff.
On 4th down, a little too high. And they're going to call a flag on the late hit coming in from Caden Norton. And McCoy Mickey was hit hard.
Maybe that's why Mackin stepped out of bounds. Now that's definitely late for order.
Yep.
And he went high too. You keep that below the shoulder blade area.
Go down to the field to Doug Duda.
Yeah, we're about a yard away from where Minky got drilled there, and you could hear all the air come out of the lungs and a loud yell, which helped the official get the yellow flag out of his pocket. And I guess maybe a break here for Blue Hill to keep things going. Maybe punch one in, give them a little bit of hope going to halftime.
15 yards.
Did you see Doug's footwork? Could you see that far, Larry? You see his little step back?
I did. Did you see that? Yeah.
Got out of the
sharp.
way.
Yeah.
It's not his first rodeo.
I think he's working on about 45-year-old legs, though. So.
Hey. I'm in that neighborhood. Hadn't seen a ton of laundry.
So ball to 16. 2 blockers in front. Here's Rouse. Spins out of the tackle. Gain of 5 yards on 1st down. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
That's a nice little wrinkle. You used Dicely as kind of your sweep guy, but watch him lead. He's not getting the ball. He loads on Christensen, gives you a chance on the edge. I like that concept. Use him as an extra blocker. Again, just because it's out of the shotgun doesn't mean it's finesse. That's power run game right there.
2nd down 5 from about the 5.5. They can get a 1st down at about the half-yard line. But not there once again. That defensive BDS has been tough, and there is Carson Dixon to start it. Finished up by Holden Stingler.
Yeah, that's kind of the wrinkle. You know, they left the read naked to the backside, and you use Sharp as your extra puller. BDS having none of it. But you have to do something to keep them honest back to the weak side. That's the answer there. BDS sound like they have been most of this afternoon.
Loss of 1 on the play brings up 3rd down and 6 for Rouse. And there's his numbers, 25 carries already. Dumps it out into the flat. Nice move, and stepping into the end zone is Dicely.
Really good job of not getting the big eyes, right? A lot of times when you see those swing passes out of the backfield, the tendency is to make the move before the catch. Dicely doesn't strike me as the type of player that enjoys making moves anyway, but he made one here almost by default. We've seen him run through a lot of guys. He typically doesn't go around. Well done by 27.
And the two-point conversion, good.
That was some drive.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about patience.
Very steady for the Bobcats of Blue Hill. Nice move there again by Dicely. The two-point conversion good, and it's 36-16. Here's a look at the two-point conversion.
At BDS, about the only thing they've done wrong conceptually is figure out how to play man-to-man with the little rub routes out there on those two-point conversions. But we talked about patience. 14 plays, 65 yards, 5 minutes and 39 seconds worth of patience. Again, don't play the scoreboard. Well done. Blue Hill faithfully. That Blue was waiting to cheer about something.
We've been here on afternoons this time of year where we've had ice and sleet and snow on the field. Yeah. What a great afternoon.
It is. I really, and I know people, you know, they love the softball setup that NSAA has. Wrestling draws rave reviews because everybody's in the same venue. But, I mean, they do an outstanding job with these state football finals. It is not easy to negotiate nor navigate. You have the logistics of the field, the crowd, moving people on and off. Well done by NSAA as well.
Kick through the end zone from Mackin. And with under a minute to go, the Eagles will have another opportunity to add to this lead.
They haven't needed much time, but they do have 3 timeouts. So for them, that's an eternity. We saw them go 6-1-0. We saw them go 6 for 64 in a minute 3. Anytime you have number 8 taking snaps, you got a chance.
We saw him go for 64 in one play. Pitch out. At the edge. Run out of bounds on the carry by Thomas Mick.
And see, they just formation you to death. You get the motion. He serves as an extra blocker. You get the speed option. And it is truly one-on-one across the board. Puts a lot of pressure on you as a defense.
Gain of 9 on the play on the carry from Thomas Mick, who has rushed for 524 and 11 touchdowns on the year. That was Sharp in motion. Mick again. They have a flag on the play, and this one's going to come back.
It is, but they see what I can see. They're much smarter than I am. It's the same concept, except this time they ran it to the field as opposed to the boundary. You literally have somebody for everybody, then it's your free defender against their ball carrier, and he's coming out of the half defensively. Advantage offense. Look, they see there's 3 blue jerseys, there's 3 white jerseys. There's a free white guy running with the football. That's how you draw it up. Same number of guys in white is the same number of guys in blue.
Still second down.
You could see them come right back to that if they choose. You've got the field here to the bottom of the screen. But what you're going to get off of that is instead of those trips guys blocking, somebody will release and be running down the field wide open.
So second down and 10 now. Christensen again. Spins out of a couple of tackles. Dicely finally drags him to the ground after a gain of about 7 yards. Bring up third down, make it 6, 3rd down and 4, 3rd and 3.
And Coach Roeder content to take this lead to the half. He's going to take those timeouts with him.
Christensen stopped right there, and that will do it here for half number 1 as time. They maybe get a timeout right before with 1 second left. I saw the... Nope, they'll wind the clock here, and that'll do it. They are going to put 1 second back on, so timeout with 1 second to go. BDS took the timeout. So they put one back on the clock. And they'll have a final play here with the 4th down coming up. Yep.
With just one tick, you don't have to worry about any sort of turnover of downs and having it be advantageous for Blue Hill. But we see some sort of trickeration. On a lot of plays that'll get you 55. Is at 45.
That's the guy who could do it.
Yeah. Again, we did see him go 1 for 64. Trips to the boundary, spreading everybody out. Excuse me, to the field.
So looking for one final toss. He'll heave it up downfield. Nearly caught right through the hands of Sharp. That'll take us to halftime, though. It has been BDS in control from the start. Blue Hill got back in it late, but still it's a 36-16 lead for the Eagles of Bruning-Davenport Shickley. BDS in control and looking for their 2nd title in 3 years. Let's go down to the field with Doug Duda.
Blue Hill coach John Coffey, coach, at least a little positive going into the locker room here.
Yeah, we're moving the ball. You know, we just had some silly mistakes early in the game, and we got to shore up our tackling. You know, we can make first contact tackle. We're right in this game, but we give them a lot of big plays. We're going to straighten that out at halftime, I hope.
What about taking control of Dixon, their great defensive lineman?
Yeah, he's a good player. He's very quick for us. You know, we'll probably start double teaming him with our running back to hopefully protects for that.
You haven't.
Not just on the good days. Not just on the challenging ones.
Let's get somebody, let's play physical. They've played physical football, watching them in their last 2 playoff games. And Mullen, guys, back up to you.
Head trauma and concussion risk minimization is a priority of the NSAA. When in doubt, sit them out.
Some common symptoms of concussions are dizziness, confusion, and nausea.
The NSAA requires coaches in all sports to take a concussion course annually.
For more information regarding concussion management and return to play protocol, visit our website, nsaahome.org. When in doubt, sit them out.
The values that Methodists bring is family.
It's important going through school that you're not just a number, that you're a face and that you're a name to a teacher. And so I loved the small class sizes.
What it means to me is that I found my foundation where I can build on my passion and I can embrace something new in my life. It is a place where I know that I'm supposed to be.
Coverage of the 2017 NSAA High School Football Championships on NET is made possible in part by Nebraska Public Power District, Nebraska Soybean Board, Education Quest, Methodist College, Constellation, and Aurora Cooperative. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support. Back at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska, we are at the halftime of the Class D2 State Championship. 36-16, BDS is in control. Joined now by Assistant Director at the NSAA, Ron Higdon. Ron runs the cross-country event for the NSAA, and it always seems like you have a great time out in Kearney. Just give us kind of an overview this year.
Yeah, we had a great time. We had a great weather, great venue, and counting the coaches and athletes, we had over 7,000 people come out to the country club and watch the event. So it turned out really well.
There's a theme here of great weather throughout these fall events, isn't there? Had great weather for softball. You had great weather in Kearney for the cross country. We've had so far great weather here at Memorial Stadium. Talk about the country club at Kearney. They've been hosting this for a while.
This is the 45th year that we've had it in Kearney, and the country club and the community of Kearney does such a fantastic job. It takes a small army of people to run something like that, and they embrace it every year and really take ownership of it, and it's been really, really good. So we enjoy having it there.
Seeing some highlights here of the state cross-country event, courtesy of KSMB. What is it about the community of Kearney and their support for this event that makes it so special?
Well, for us, they just take the bull, and they've been doing it for so many years that the volunteers that they have been doing it for years. So everybody knows what their role is, and it kind of is just a well-oiled machine as they go through it.
So again, great weather. You had a great event. I wonder if we should take a look maybe at then some of the champions from this year's NSAA cross-country championship. First on the girls side, there are your champs.
Miller West had a great championship, and O'Rourke opted up from Class C to B and ended up winning it, so that was a good thing. And Holdridge actually won the boys and the girls, and then Ainsworth came in for Class D.
So that's a look at the girls cross-country champions. On the guys' side, I think you mentioned already Holdridge, but how about the other classes?
Papillion Vista South, very strong team, and Omaha Scott Catholic came through and ran really well. Malcolm just kind of blew it out of the water. They had a very strong team, and probably had about 4 guys in the top 10. Something crazy like that, but it was a very strong showing.
So another great year out in Kearney for the NSAA Boys and Girls Cross Country Championships. Let's talk about another event or sport that you run the championships for, and that would be high school wrestling, which has had some tremendous success up in Omaha over the last few years. Talk about those championships coming up in February.
Well, the winter sports season just started this week. They started practice, and so it's in full swing. We're ready to go. Have a little break for Thanksgiving, and then we get rolling with competition right after that. The wrestling championships is the first one out of the gate for the winter. So over the last 5 years, we've set 4 attendance records at the state championship. Wow. So it continues to grow, and I probably attribute that to more of our schools doing a better job of promoting their own programs. And as they progress through the year, people will get more interested, and then they want to come watch them at the culmination. So it's been a fantastic event, and I've just been lucky enough to share it with these guys.
You're always making tweaks to that event. Anything planned for this year?
Anything always.
You can tell us about?
No. It's always a fun thing to change some things up and make it exciting. Our focus, really, my focus is for the coaches and athletes to have the experience of their life, because for the majority of them, that's the last time that they'll ever have an opportunity to experience something like that. And so we want to make it very special for them.
That's a terrific event.
Thank you very much.
That's Ron Higdon, Assistant Director at the NSAA, who runs both cross country and wrestling for the NSAA. We're at halftime here at the boys Class D2 State Championship. It's BDS on top of Blue Hill.
Have you ever wondered what happens to soybeans after they're harvested? Every year, soybean farmers invest a portion of their soybean revenue to fund research, marketing, and promotion, which is called the Nebraska Soybean Checkoff. 80% of the harvested soybeans are crushed into soybean meal that's used to feed poultry and livestock. The other 20% is made into soybean oil that's used for cooking oil and biodiesel. To learn more about the Nebraska Soybean Checkoff, nebraskasoybeans.org.
The values that Methodists bring is family.
It's important going through school that you're not just a number, that you're a face and that you're a name to a teacher. And so I loved the small class sizes.
What it means to me is that I found my foundation where I can build on my passion and I can embrace something new in my life. It is a place where I know that I'm supposed to be.
Not just on the good days. Not just on the challenging ones. not just during business hours or when relaxing, but always. For the past 125 years, Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
The channel you're watching now is NET Television.
NET Sports provides 200 hours of local Nebraska high school sports and collegiate sports each year, more than any other Nebraska network. On air or online, NET Sports, Nebraska's home for sports.
Bruning-Davenport, Shickley in control here as we're at halftime of this Class D2 state championship with Blue Hill, 36-16 the score. You know, there's a new sport that's growing within the ranks of collegiate athletic programs that may be a bit surprising to you. Meet the Midland University esports team.
A lot of other students around here, I'll never forget, I would overhear them just kind of, I'd be in the same room and they'd be like, did you hear like Midland started up this esports? Like, how are they getting paid to play video games?
People are like, wait, that's a thing? I'm like, yeah, it's a thing. Because, you know, growing up, video games was a waste of time, and honestly, it's not anymore.
Midland University in Fremont is giving gamers a chance to compete collegiately and get their school paid for while they do it. The school's esports program is on the pioneering edge as the gaming community continues to grow.
Yeah, I think 4 to 5 years ago is when the first scholarshiped esports college team came into being. We were one of the first 5 to do it. And I think there's probably now well into the 30s and 40s that actually scholarship it and classify it as a varsity sport. You know, sure, you had some, and I would say a minority of people that really questioned and were very skeptical of, you know, how this could even be put in the same vein as basketball or anything like that. And, you know, we're just giving these kids that same opportunity.
Esports is the common term for team competition using multiplayer video games throughout the world. Among the most popular games are League of Legends, Overwatch, and Hearthstone. At Midland, all 3 are played, but it all started with League of Legends.
It's very similar to basketball. There's 5 positions in basketball, there's 5 positions in League of Legends. Each position takes a unique set of skills. So like in basketball, you have your guard, you have your shooting guard, your power forward, your center, and your small forward. Same idea in League of Legends. You have your mid lane, you have your ADC, your support, your jungler, and your top lane. You're all on the same team working towards your primary goal to go and blow up their base.
The biggest thing with this game is trust, and you can find that in any game, honestly, but if you can't trust the person sitting next to you to follow through with what they normally do, then it's going to be a terrible game.
Good job. I ate the
To make it a varsity sport, to put it on that same level, to give it the same attention, the same resources that you do your mainstream sports, I think is huge for the esports community and certainly for the esports kids here at Midland.
I have powerlifters on my Overwatch team, and you know, those are the kids that you would expect to be the big buff guys. You know, they're going out, they're playing video games with my players, the skinny, scrawny kids. But honestly, these players know that in the end of the day, they can come in here, they can play with each other and be friends, something they couldn't have had before when they go to their room and sit all alone.
Great new sport, great new concept there at Midland, the esports. We're at halftime of this D2 title game. Come back, we'll take a look at highlights and stats after the break.
With the Aurora Cooperative, you have a trusted partner who looks well beyond the horizon. We're putting our owner's equity to work every day by anticipating what you'll need tomorrow, creating what's next for your farm. A portfolio of innovation that supports every aspect of your operation, and an unwavering commitment to your success, however you measure it.
My farm. My cooperative.
My future.
The Aurora Cooperative.
The Nebraska Chiropractic Physicians Association is pleased to sponsor the NSAA Academic All-State Award Program, recognizing students and athletes who shine in the classroom and on the field. This statewide program recognizes academic excellence, leadership, and athletic achievement in over 20 high school sports and activities. We honor these exceptional students and all of the teachers, coaches, and parents who have mentored them. Together, we can continue to make Nebraska a great place to live, learn, and play.
Earning my shield means...
It means I'm always moving forward.
Never stopping, always learning.
It means rising to the challenge of my ambition.
Earning my shield means having the confidence to hold my own with anyone from anywhere.
It means more opportunities for me and my children.
Earning my shield means it's never too early or late to set goals. What does it mean to earn your shield? I found out it don't.
Coverage of the 2017 NSAA High School Football Championships on NET is made possible in part by Nebraska Public Power District, Nebraska Soybean Board, Education Quest, Methodist College, Constellation, and Aurora Cooperative. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support. Nearing third quarter play here at Memorial Stadium. Let's go down to the field. Doug Duda.
Assistant Coach Scott Shickley here of BDS. And Coach, you guys played an almost perfect first half, but there's always things to work on. And Blue Hill was able to convert some fourth downs. You kind of gave them a penalty there that let them get in that last touchdown. Any concern?
We just got to execute better the second half. The first half, we gave up some mistakes. We need to stop helping them and just play our kind of game, be physical, come to the ball, play team defense.
You've had a great first half here from Carson Dixon. He's been in the backfield numerous times. What about his play?
Carson's been executing really well at what he's supposed to do at defensive end, and he's really gotten to the quarterback when he's at his opportunities.
And finally, Christensen's been able to throw the ball all year today. He's running the ball for you.
We found some holes. Our offensive line is really doing their job, and we really stress playing as a team, and John seeing the holes coming through and getting some yardage.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a good first half. Keep up the good work in the second half. Thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.
BDS up 36-16 here at halftime. Larry Damon, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Doug. We are, as you said, at halftime, 36-16. And let's take a look at some first half highlights. Christensen on the second play offensively for BDS goes the distance, and that was just the start. He's had an impressive first half. Christensen with 9 carries, 186 yards, and there's another touchdown carry by Mick Thomas, who has 36 yards on 4 carries. He's averaging 9 per tote. Bright spot here for Blue Hill as they were down early but came back and scored 16 in that second half. But too much Christensen, too much of the time in the first half has led to this BDS lead. In control here, 36-16. So far on the ground for BDS, 222 yards. Here's a look at the statistics, 222 to just 91. BDS outgaining Blue Hill. Passing yards, slight advantage to Blue Hill, but this has really been a first half dominated in score by BDS. Look at time of possession, Damon. You wouldn't think.
1931 to 429, yet you've amassed 222 yards in those 4.5 minutes. I mean, that's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
Right, and you've only thrown for 17 yards in the air, and you haven't needed any of it. Just take a look at that. That's why it's in yellow. 222 yards rushing in 4 minutes and 29 seconds. And a lot of it is led by that guy.
Absolutely.
I did think it was interesting though, because it's nothing fancy. Got to find a way to tackle better at the point of attack. You put yourself in position to make plays, and Coach Coffey sees it. He says, listen, if we tackle better, when we get there, we're okay, because they have shown flashes of being able to move the ball. But tackling has been an issue. Blue Hill have to be patient enough to go maybe 3 or 4 yards at a time, too. Maybe use 4 downs to make 10 yards and be okay with that.
They're averaging 16 yards per touch right now, BDS.
Yeah, that's going to win you a lot of games.
So opening kickoff of this second half goes through the end zone, and BDS will have it with a 20-point lead. And trotting back out of the field is quarterback John Christensen, who, again, in the first half rushed for 186 yards. 20.7 yard per touch average, 9 carries, 186.
It's a big boy performance.
Yes, it is.
We have, it's getting ready to approach uncharted waters here.
Take it again, and you can see the adjustment being made.
So that's what it is. You almost have to let the sweep motion go. Don't even worry about outside zone. Now, if he gives it, I mean, they're going to turn the corner for about 15 yards, but you'd much rather have Thomas Mick get you running zone than Christensen continue to pound you in your midsection.
Gain of 4 on the carry. That brings up 2nd down, 6. Christensen just a junior.
Now that's the scary thing.
Yeah, flips it out there, and a nice completion and reception to Caden Norder. Norder enough for the first down. 6'1", 205, and he looks like he's maybe even a bit more solid than that 205 does Christensen.
Yeah, every bit of it. Yeah. Heavy, heavy runner. How about this one? That is on the money. A little bit different throwing motion.
Here's Mick, who has some room, and look out. Mick might go. Thomas Mick, the distance for the touchdown.
Is that scary? Hey, that in essence is what I just said. You let, well.
Don't break your arm, but you're right.
I won't. I mean, you could just make the choice, right? You stand in the box and let Christensen do work, or on the give here, I told you he'd go for 15. I meant 15 times 3. That's just, you're going to be darned if you do, darned if you don't. They're winning individual matchups. When Christensen carries the ball, he's their free carrier. He's better than your free defender.
52 yards on the touchdown run, and the 2-point conversion good by Christensen. So they extend that lead here, 44-16. Early on, 1 minute, 3 seconds is all they ticked off the clock to put 8 points on the board, and they lead it again. The 44-16 to start this third quarter. Bobcats get it when we come back.
Talk about public power for a second. Nebraska's electric utilities use a diverse mix of fuel resources to generate electricity. Wind, water, coal, nuclear, natural gas, solar, and methane. Just another way your electric utility shows how public power works for you. Let's talk about public power for a second. Did you know Nebraska's electric utilities pay more than $100 million to communities they serve each year? Those dollars stay local, helping to empower our hometowns. Just another way your electric utility shows how public power works for you.
Not just on the good days. Not just on the challenging ones. Not just during business hours. Or when relaxing. But always. For the past 125 years, Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Kind of pizza weather out there, isn't it?
I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
You know me, weird eating pizza. I'd probably pass on the pizza.
It is 44-16 here in quarter number 3. We're only 1 minute 3 into the third, and already 8 more points on the board for BDS.
We've done a lot of games together. I don't know if we've ever done one in which a team has scored at this frequent a clip.
Haven't punted yet. That goes out of bounds.
And you're talking about 5 minutes and 20 seconds of real game time.
Yeah.
And they have 44 points. I just don't think we've seen that before. We've seen some explosive offenses, and we've done this together. Probably double-digit years.
10, right?
Yeah.
White. So the kick goes out of bounds, and that will give the ball to Blue Hill at the 25-yard line. Back out comes the offense of Blue Hill, which got some things going there.
They did.
Late in that second half, and this hasn't been an issue of the Bobcats offense. It's been the difficulty controlling the Eagle defense. From the 25, Rouse again. Waiting for him on the outside was Garrett Sharp, who stayed home and throws him to the ground for a gain of about 1.5. We'll call it 2.
Just good team defense, right? The minute that bounces or spills, there's somebody right there waiting in another run fit. This time it was Sharp. Pretty underappreciated. Relatively easy to be underappreciated in this defense with a couple of the horses that they have doing work right now with Carson Dixon and Christensen and Glenn Meyer.
Dicely with the give, short gain. We talked with Doug Duda off the top, and he was mentioning that the first time Blue Hill went from 11-man to 8-man, they played this BDS team. It was their first ever game in 8-man football, and it was in that game that Blue Hill took a look at the offense that BDS was running and immediately adopted their offense. He said he was so enamored with how effective the offense was that Blue Hill decided to adopt it, and it's obviously worked for them this year.
Imitation is the best form of flattery. So it is.
In the flat, complete. That's good for a first down. Completion to Trenton Carr. Trenton Carr with his 14th catch of the season.
I know some people might ask, well, why does he take the step towards the line of scrimmage? That's exactly why. He holds those edge defenders. They can't get out to the out route because they have to honor the quarterback run game. Another little nuance. I learn something different every year almost in watching high-level 8-man football.
Tries to get the corner. Fighting off the tackle and getting a hand on him was Christensen. Tripped him up, slowed him down just enough to make the plays. Still a gain of about 5.
Yeah, taking on 2 guys at the point of attack, and one of them is Dicely. You're going to have your hands full if you're Christensen, but he took it on. Tried to set the edge. Blue Hill needs something back to the opener, to the weak side out of that look to keep BDS honest. Whether it's cornerback counter, maybe they want to pull Sharp back to the backside.
Fake the give. Slides through, good enough for a first down.
I like that. They pulled the other way. Maybe I am figuring this game out a little bit. I think I can. I may not go all Tony Romo on you and call out plays, but I do okay. And I won't talk over you either. I'll let you, Larry, Jim, Putney, Nance, all you want to.
You make fun, but he may be the best color guy going. That's funny. I take it that was not an acknowledgement.
No.
Out of the flat, wide open, Dicely with it. And that's enough for a first down for Dicely inside the 20-yard line down to about the 18 on the completion from Rouse.
That is great to see a big tough guy like Dicely out in space. He'd rather not even remotely attempt to make a move. He feels compelled. Yeah, he's getting in your chest. Another good tackle. Constantly after the football. Shart's he's a tough kid.
Nice drive here for the Bobcats. To answer. Rouse tucks it up. Short gain.
So that little follow me play off the sweep. If Rouse just pauses for a second and gets up the field immediately, he may hit his head on the goalpost. Because they're just running, trying to get him at the edge. Let the traffic clear. That might be what Coach Coffey's saying. Let it ride on by.
On the reverse, here's Carr. Carr out near a first down. Caden Norder again with the stop. Norder's been busy here on this drive.
That's just great effort by Carr individually, because you watch, BDS played this well. He gets back outside. He's in the run fit. Oh, that's tough. Big guy trying to make a play in space at the line of scrimmage. Good individual effort by Carr.
So first down and goal to go for the Bobcats. Under center this time. Give to Dicely, not much there. Christensen leads the way for the Eagles defensively.
Oh, just good old-fashioned ISO. I like that isolation, let the fullback lead. Dicely gets downhill. You know this is 4-down territory, so you're thinking to yourself, okay, I've got 3 downs for 6 yards. Wouldn't surprise me if Dicely got another touch here shortly.
Dicely cuts it back. Pulled to the ground on the tackle made by Holden Stengel. That'll bring up third down and goal, ball at the 2.
That's all the Romo you're going to get from here on out. You know, now the dilemma that BDS is in is they're so quarterback edge run game conscious that those swing routes are there. You've seen that they've become open. Now they're going to have to pick their poison here a little bit.
Rouse right up the middle. Just shy, as it was Shart there making the play. Shart along with Stengel.
Yeah, you just get the sense he's one of those guys that maybe gets out of bed and he says to himself, when I make contact, I'm not going to let a tackler fall forward. Like, he makes it up. I mean, he's trending now. Once is coincidence, 2 or more is a fluke. He's trending. Excuse me, once is a fluke, 2 or more is coincidence.
Stengel right there with him, fighting off the block, making the play. So that'll bring up 4th down and goal. Ball is inside the 1. Under center again. The sneak right up the middle. Piled up, hasn't got it yet. Still fighting and will not get there.
That was some surge.
What a goal line stand for the Eagles.
I know hindsight has perfect vision, but I would stay away from BDS in the heart of that defense, right? I mean, Meyer he's a thoroughbred at the nose spot. You know you're going to get some sort of wedge or pinch or guys playing in the A-gap.
How about Schoenholtz, who was in there? Big body and all, and he was injured early.
Yes, he was. Yeah, just low man wins. Again, we try to make football a lot more complicated than it really is.
Here's Christensen just looking for a couple yards to get out from the shadows of his end zone. Picked up about 1.
Now, if they choose to, it's a little dangerous out of the quarterback, out of the shotgun. But again, outside zone will go a long ways right now. If Mick gets the handoff, he can take it right or take it left.
Christensen out to the 6 and a gain of 5. Third down.
A lot of credit to Blue Hills coaching staff for making the change, right? They've picked their poison, and it's the one that they're going to digest is more Mick than it is Christensen. They're going to stop the inside run game.
So an opportunity here for Blue Hill to come up with a big play defensively. Flip the field here. Still disappointing on such a great drive to open up the second half to not put points on the board. Christensen again driving, but he will not have enough for the first down. They'll blow the play dead.
That's a really good read by Christensen. It was played well on the edge. He could read the numbers. He keeps. really sound. So he sweeps not going to be there. It's a good read. It's a pretty good fit right there by Rouse.
John Rouse is going to trot out of the game. He looks like either he thought he had blood. He kept checking his forehead. He thought there was blood coming down.
Yeah, he led with his face on that tackle against a much bigger ball carrier, and I can almost guarantee that the top of his helmet came down on the bridge of his nose.
He kept reaching to feel for it, and the official looked at it, didn't see anything, so did not stop play. And Rouse trotted off the field. So on 4th down, they'll punt it away, and this is going to be great field position coming up for the Bobcats.
How quick can Rouse get ready? He put his face mask right in Christensen's chest. A lot of times that's why kids wear visors. I know some think it's for show. He might have got something in his eye. Sometimes you can panic. You get that kind of collision, you lose your contact. It's maybe up in his eyelid. I'm almost positive that's what happened.
Yep, now he looks like he's ready. So in there, quarterback is J.C. Himmelberg. Himmelberg under center. He'll hand to Dicely. Nothing there for Dicely up the middle. Tackle led by Glenn Meyer. Thomas Mick from that free safety spot also there to make a play.
Enjoy seeing Dicely's versatility, right? He's an inside between the ends kind of runner, but yet they've utilized him in space a little bit as a pass catcher too. It's nice versatility to his game.
John Rouse back in the game now at quarterback for the Bobcats from the shotgun. Dicely in motion. They'll fake the give to him, look downfield. Not there, and now Rouse will pull it down and try to make something of it, and he's hit hard once again. Christensen meets him for no gain.
Always multiple tacklers at the point of attack, aren't there? You're not usually just dealing with one BDS tackler.
Caden Norders had a big game defensively too. Norder right there along with Christensen on the tackle.
Yeah, whatever Norders hit has typically stopped moving this afternoon.
3rd down and 8. They'll go down the field, man wide open, just off the fingertips, intended for McCoy Menke.
You just got to keep running. You almost have to run through that. He pitter-pats and slows down a little bit, just out over those fingertips.
One more look.
Yeah, you got to run through that. That little stutter right there cost him.
Joe Mackin now to punt it away on 4th down and 8. Short kick there for Mackin. It takes the wrong bounce for the Bobcats, and BDS will take over after about a 14-yard punt. Mackin was trying to lay it in there, just a little soft with it.
Yeah, that nose of that football goes down. It's coming back to you. Can't imagine they're working that punt game special teams a ton in practice.
Christensen of the offense back out there for BDS. Calls his own number again, steps through a couple of tackles. And you can see the adjustment that's been made by the Bobcats at halftime.
They have. They've committed more bodies to the inside run game. Done a much better job. It's just demoralizing when you're allowed to continually be punched in the gut without the ability to defend yourself.
Let's go down to the field to Doug Duda.
Yeah, guys, Mackin was out there getting ready to boot the ball away, and they noticed that BDS didn't put anybody back, and at the last second, the coaches were telling him, pooch, pooch, pooch. Now, he pooched it a little too well.
Look out, down the near sideline. There goes Shart. Shart for the touchdown.
He earned that one. As good a defense as he's played all day. Rewarded himself a little bit offensively.
58-yard touchdown run by Garrett Sharp. Little stiff arm there.
You have a chance to make a play, and you've committed all the numbers inside the box.
And look at Norder with the block.
I enjoy seeing those stiff arms used like jabs. Don't be lazy and just feel for a head or two. Punch like a boxer.
Little pitch out, bobbled and will not convert. So 34-point lead.
Coach Coffey is kind of he's a visionary, right? He says if we could just tackle when we get there to the ball carrier at the point of attack. You saw it twice there, that time on the same play. Yep.
Well, a reminder, tomorrow there is more live coverage of the NSAA High School Football Championships on NET Sports with the Class C1 Championship game beginning at 10 a.m. Central. That will be followed by Class C2. That's at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. And then the Class A contest, Damon Benning will be back here. Unfortunately, not in the booth. He'll be down in the field as his Omaha North squad takes on Kearney for a state championship tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. You can watch all of the action on NET or on the free NET Nebraska app.
I'll come on back to Lincoln tomorrow. How about that?
Be great. You can come on up here and join us in the booth if you like. I don't think they really need you down there.
Yeah, they probably won't. I can tell you that. Haven't seen a ton of opportunities in the return game. Boy, at 50-16, we're 1 point from a running clock in the state championship.
Thought we might have had it there with the 2-point conversion.
No, you were thinking of last year when we played Bobby West.
I wasn't going to mention that. Although, did you know your broadcast partner here today, Doug Duda, did come up. Not only did he remind you on the air earlier tonight about that game, but he came up after the game and offered his play-by-play call of that game.
Yep, and I exercised self-control. Almost made a Kearney reference. We have yet to play the game.
Here's the give to up the middle to Nicely. Nicely. Nice gain on first down of about 6. Dicely's rushed for better than 1,300 yards on the year. Just 26 here this afternoon. 10 carries, make it 11 carries, 32 yards after that last carry. Right now, the ground game for Blue Hill, which they have counted on so much throughout this year, averaging 295 a game, is averaging just 2.6 yards per carry.
Yeah, they've had to exercise great patience, and you look up and all of a sudden you didn't think that BDS had scored 20 points in that quarter.
Right. We're headed to the fourth quarter. The final 12 minutes is ahead here on NET Sports. We'll crown a D2 title holder when we come back.
Constellation believes in developing the next generation of Nebraska leaders, and we've shown that support by contributing more than $197,000 to 4-H and FFA in the 60 Nebraska counties we serve. Constellation supplies natural gas for Nebraska homes, farms, ranches, and businesses. Through our support for 4-H and FFA, we're providing energy for Nebraska's future as well. Natural gas supply from Constellation.
It has been all BDS here this afternoon in the Class D2 State Championship. 50-16 is the score. Eagles on top, and now Blue Hill back out there. John Rouse, Lane Dicely, and company. 3rd down and 3. Now for the first down. Driven to the ground by Christensen.
I think that was Shard. Yeah,
you 8, not 9, right?
If Rouse isn't going to fall forward at contact, look at Dicely do the good job on Christensen at the point of attack, then it's probably Shard. I mean, wakes up with a tackle quota of how many times he'll let guys fall forward on him. It's less than
that quota's
one.
not yet. That's right. Direct snap handled by Dicely. Ducks out near midfield.
Good to see Schoenholtz playing well too, along with Travis Meyer. Boy, both those guys at the nose have been a handful for Blue Hill. Must be rough, right? Meyer goes to the bench to take a breather and Schoenholtz comes in. Swap out 220,
yep,
280.
There you go. Exactly. Rouse out of the flat. Catch by Joe Mackin. No gain. Still 3rd down and 6 now for Blue Hill.
Just watching that center nose tackle battle. And Tony Bauman, the 61 for Blue Hill, can't go much more than about 200 pounds, and he's just in there fighting tooth and nail in the offensive line trenches for Blue Hill. A tough kid right there. He's not getting any subs.
That's right.
Just watch him, he'll battle.
Good completion, still at his feet. Down the near sideline, Mason Menke, and Menke in there for the touchdown, his 2nd of the game. McCoy Menke, 42 yards.
One of the rare times that we've seen Blue Hill be able to run after the initial contact. Oh, and that was Norder, the sure tackling Norder. It's one of those where you got to bring your hands with him. He threw a shoulder and Menke was having none of it.
And to kick the extra point is Joe Mackin. A reminder, it was Mackin who hit that field goal 22-yarder with 6 seconds left to give Blue Hill the 27, check that, they give them the 37-34 win against number 3 Twin Loop in the quarterfinals. Toughest game of the year.
There was no optical illusion for those of you watching at home. That was double goal posts.
Right.
one 10 yards closer than the original.
Might have knocked it through both. Hey, I want to give you the answer to our trivia question tonight. The question was, who is the current NSAA 8-man record holder for most touchdowns in a career? And the first person to answer at sports@netnebraska.org would win our t-shirt. For the first time, Damon, I think ever, we did not have a winner of our trivia question. So we'll let you know that the answer was Braden Eckhout of Amherst. 54 touchdowns from 2012 to 15.
Goodness.
So apparently Braden's not watching, or he might have had that right.
I've been to Amherst.
We had a lot of answers, several responses, but no correct answer. You have them.
I have. They have a heck of a facility. It's a basketball game played there. They're known for their wrestling. I couldn't believe how nice the gym was. It was amazing. Probably en route to, how many state titles have they won in rowing wrestling? Maybe 1,000? That might be a little high.
It's close, though. I think it is close to 1,000.
Yeah? Yeah. Right there with Kearney and their state track titles for that run.
Ron was here at halftime. You should have asked him. Ron would have known. Ron Higdon runs one of the great NSAA championships, right? Up in Omaha.
He does. It's a thing of beauty to watch. Like seeing everybody under one roof.
Yeah. And he's done, since going to the NSAA, he's really changed up that presentation, if you will, the spectacle that it has become.
He's a sharp guy, and he's a wrestling guy, so it's comes natural to him.
Let's go down to the field to Doug.
You guys have broke out the wrestling commentary tonight?
You know it runs in the family. Sorry, Doug.
Oh, we love it, brother. We love it. Kearney invite just like a week and a half away.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, Doug. We were staying in Kearney, and the first couple of games were held in Kearney, and then the championship was at Amherst, and so we get on the highway there and we turn off on a gravel road, and I'm thinking, where in the world are we going, right? And then we walk into this high school, and it's an amazing facility. That's why you never judge a book by its cover. It was immaculate. And you look at all the banners that they hang there.
Every school has something, don't they?
Oh, that's a great wrestling program.
Christensen again with the carry. That's good for a first down on 2nd and 5.
I can't believe he's just a junior. Yeah. He had to watch Kleinschmidt for a while, and you know what kind of quarterback Kale was for these guys. Just learned the craft at running back. Just assume the position and skip a beat.
Christensen again. Nice pop there by John Rouse, who wasn't afraid to fill the hole with authority.
Yeah, Rouse is really starting to play down into the box. Again, the one thing he will give up is any outside sweep game. But Rouse really filling the alley. I don't think they were interested in letting Christensen set any yards per carry average.
Right. He's already over 200 in the game, 207 total rushing for Christensen. Cut that up and he's gone.
Would you like to have that conversation again?
How about that?
It's
Thomas Mick.
That's Thomas Mick with the touchdown.
I definitely probably couldn't coach this game, but I sure can see what's happening. Again, the good crack, the good seal, and then it turns into a foot race because Rouse is coming from out of the box. They had used him to stop the quarterback run game. It all fits together like a nice puzzle. You stop this, we'll do this. And Mick just fast enough.
So this is the 2-point conversion. Converting it here would put us into the running clock at a 35-point lead. Christensen rolls, fires across the middle, got it. Completion to Caden Norder, made a nice grab. And that makes it a 58-23 game. BDS in charge and now up by 35 points.
Norder still disgusted over that missed tackle. That's what kind of competitor he is. He's like, you can have that 2-point conversion. I want the tackle back. We want big. All right. That's awesome. I love this environment. This is one of my favorite things to do.
There is the NCAA mercy rule, so if at any point during the second half you are down by 35, you have a running clock. So the clock will no longer stop except for timeouts here in the second half.
Well, I tell you, old Glenn's got jokes, doesn't he? He says they may want Nebraska. Nice, Glenn. I can't even say scoreboard after Nebraska women got beat by Creighton last night. So I'll have to wait around in the men's and see what happens there.
Oh my gosh, let's do that.
Hey, Mr. Doom.
That'll turn out well for you.
Creighton's got a big one tonight against UCLA.
They do. They do. Well, let's see if Holden Stengel can continue his string of 52 kicks through the end zone today. And that's another one.
Yeah, they might as well just start at the 10. It's about as different a looking place kicker as we've seen outside of maybe Boss from
oh, yeah. Sacred
Was that Falls City?
No, that was SCOTUS, right?
Was that? Yeah, it was. That's right. That was Columbus SCOTUS, because he was the good soccer player as well.
Great soccer player, yeah.
Good call. I got the name, you get the school. I had the green and yellow right.
Well, what happens to the brain during a concussion is a medical mystery. NET Sports examines head injuries and UNL's Advanced Brain Research in Concussions Heading for Change. Hear from athletes who've suffered and see what's going to be done to prevent them. Concussions Heading for Change can be seen online at netnebraska.org/concussions and on the NET Nebraska app. Some great work they're doing here at the university to identify concussion protocol, preventative measures, the impact, long-term impacts on the brain.
And one of the nation's leaders in terms of head and impacts, head and how impacts affect brain recovery. It's pretty cool.
It is. If you haven't seen the piece yet, very well done. You can get it on our app or check it out online. So 3rd down and 7 now for Blue Hill, 58-23. Rouse in the game, 35 carries, 96 yards. He'll put this one up top. Incomplete, no flag. Well, there's Thomas Mick, the 5'9" junior, 145. It's had a nice game. Look at him set up the block there. A little stutter step. And he gets loose for the 52-yarder here. 142 yards rushing for Mick. 23.7 per touch.
I was just getting ready to say, I think he surpassed Christensen's yards per carry.
He has.
Well, that is just impressive on the ground.
How about Shart, though? Shart has 2 carries for 63 yards, so his per carry is over 31.
Well, they can fight about that in the locker room.
Those are.
I mean, that's just gaudy.
Yeah, it's Damon Benning Orange Bowl-esque.
That's it. Wow, it's a well-oiled machine right there. Listen to the crowd.
Round of applause as the starters have come to the sideline for BDS. So in there at quarterback for the Eagles now is Logan Schroeder. Schroeder carries it up the middle. Schroeder, a 6'2" junior. He's rushed for almost 500 yards on the season.
Well, he is a long, lean drink of water. He could hide behind a stop sign. Look at that. Wow. Just a junior. It's good experience, too, when you're building a program and you're, continuing to develop the culture. This is part of it. Your young guys getting experience on a stage like this.
Nothing doing. Cutting through there is Ethan Sharp. Sharp, who had 125 tackles on the year. Have not heard much from Sharp this afternoon. The senior middle linebacker with the tackle.
And with the motion that he's been seeing from that cross action, they've almost taken him out of the quarterback stop run game. Turned him loose a little bit right there. Good football player on film. Really good. Luck your way into 125 tackles.
Right. So 3rd down and long here. Ball's on the 19-yard line. Nothing there. Stopped for a loss again. That's going to be a loss of about 4. Bring up 4th down and long.
The first time is this the first time we've seen the punt team?
It is. Second? Ah, that's right. Last time it was, yeah.
Well, you're not going to get anything past Glenn.
No. Driving kick taken at the 43. Return down to the 34-5, make it 25-yard line. On the return by Joe Mackin. So Mackin sets up the Bobcats with good field position as the clock continues to tick away here, even at the possession change.
It's the first time in a long time I've seen the place kicker be the returner as well.
Right.
Although Starball might get a chance at some returns tomorrow.
J.C. Himmelberg in there at quarterback now. Himmelberg keeps himself for no gain, piled up by that interior line. Led by Nolan Weber, the sophomore, with the tackle. Hey, NET Television's Nebraska Stories returns in January with a new season of stories from all around Nebraska. You can watch Nebraska Stories each week, Thursday night, January 7th, 8 p.m. Central on NET. That's a great series.
I'm a little biased, but NET does good work.
Without question. Just one of the top local public broadcasting systems in the country.
One of the young guys getting a chance here.
Carry there by Max Mormon. You saw in there Kyle Artisono, just the freshman.
Hey, you really can't beat this experience.
Absolutely. Himmelberg at quarterback. He'll hand off. Carried by Mormon. Nice gain by the sophomore running back, defensive back. Inside 1:30 to go here in the game. How about BDS and this run they're on? 2014, they came in here, felt like they were beat up a little bit. 2015, rededicated, became state champs in 2015. Made the playoffs in 16, lost to Falls City Sacred Heart in what was probably a state championship caliber game right before the state championship. And then this year they knock off Falls City Sacred Heart 50-16 in the semis, and they have been impressive all year long. The closest game that they had came early in the year, and they win this. Another state championship is a full line change offensively for the Eagles. They win it here in 2017 as well.
And they are really on to something here in terms of establishing some dominance and building this program. That has been quite a 3-year run. That Falls City Sacred Heart game earlier was 23-14 in the regular season.
Falls City Sacred Heart. No, they 50-16 in the playoffs.
I meant during the regular season.
Did they play in the regular season? Oh, they did. 23-14. Yeah, you're right. 9 point. That was the closest game.
Right.
Hey, this Wednesday on NET World, Big Red Wrap-Up moves to a special time due to the high school football championships. You can join Andy Kendi. He's in for Kevin Kugler. Blake Lawrence will be there. Sean Callahan, as always. They will recap the Penn State game and look ahead to Friday's game against Iowa with special guest Aaron Sorensen from thelandof10.com. You don't want to miss Big Red Wrap-Up on NET World Wednesday at 7 Central, and then again at 10 p.m. on NET. And you see what's going on right there, don't you?
I do. It's a-coming.
You have 2 head coaches. You got to get 2 Gatorade buckets ready.
I think Coach Roeder said, "You're not kidding me."
Roeder and Artisono both peek behind him a little bit. Kneel down there.
Just take it like a man.
Yeah, he's not letting him get him.
And that's going to do it. Oh! They're going to hide it a little bit, wait for him to turn up. They'll get him. One more kneel down, and that will do it. And once again, state championship. We'll head back to Bruning-Davenport, Shickley. They are the state champs, and they got him that time. What a great performance by this BDS squad.
And if you're Blue Hill, nothing to hang your head about. You ran into a buzzsaw today known as BDS. Doesn't feel good. That's a heck of a football team that they lost to.
Trophies and medals are coming up right here on NET.
You're watching NET Television.
Tune in and travel back through the hits from the 50s and 60s with Jukebox. A musical time machine from one of the world's finest vocal groups, Human Nature. With special guest Darlene Love.
Saturday afternoon at 5:30 Central on NET.
School's almost over. What's next? I mean, what are my choices? I want to find something I love, so I can make a life for myself. And then I can give back. So, how do I get there?
Take the next step with Education Quest College Planning Services by visiting educationquest.org.
NET Sports provides 200 hours of local Nebraska high school sports and collegiate sports each year. More than any other Nebraska network. On air or online, NET Sports, Nebraska's home for sports.
Coverage of the 2017 NSAA High School Football Championships on NET is made possible in part by Nebraska Public Power District, Nebraska Soybean Board, Education Quest, Methodist College, Constellation, and Aurora Cooperative. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. The Class D2 championship is now official. BDS is your state champion once again. Second time in 3 years they've won the title. They won it in 15, now again in 17. And now for medal and trophy presentations. Right after we tell you about the NSAA football DVD. Reminder, pick up your DVD by calling 800-868-1868, and you can relive these memories for a lifetime, or log on to netnebraska.org. Follow the prompts to pick up your copy of this year's state high school championships. Now for medals and trophies, let's go to Heath Kramer.
Nebraska School Activities Association is honored to have medals and trophies for both of these outstanding teams. Presentations will be made by NSAA Executive Director Dr. Jim Tenneper, NSAA Board of Directors Alan Gary from Medicine Valley Schools, Mark Norvell from Fillmore Central, and U.S. Bank Representative Steve Mayer. Here are the awards for the runner-up, Blue Hill High School. Head coach John Coffey and his assistants will present the silver medals. Players, please come forward as your name is called. Max Mormon, Nick Okingay, John Rouse, Colton Wademan, McLean Seaman, J.C. Himmelberg, Chase Kula, Trace Okingay, Trenton Carr, Joe Mackin, McCoy Menke, Colton Bolin, Win Wilmot, Lane Dicely. Jacob Canterbury. Ethan Sharp. Eric Wademan. Brent Court. Cade Golter. Tony Bauman. Hayden Komecher. Grant Streff. Ethan Rockholtz. And Jim Mackin. These outstanding athletes and their school. Here is the 2017 Class D2 State Football Runner-Up Trophy. Congratulations, Blue Hill High School.
Well, great run this season and run throughout the playoffs as Blue Hill finishes the runner-up here in Class D2, finishing with a 12-1 record. The only loss coming right here in the state championship. A bunch of other teams that would have liked to have been here.
Yeah. Again, nothing to hang your head about. It's a heck of a season. It's a juggernaut across from those guys in BDS. It's a well-oiled machine.
Now time for the medals and trophies for the champs from BDS. Let's go back to Heath.
Now, to the champions, Bruning-Davenport Shickley. Head coaches Mark Roeder and Chris Artisono, we have a special award for you. Coach Roeder and Coach Artisono and their assistants will present the gold medals. Players, as your name is called, please come forward. Logan Schroeder. Hayden Norder. Eric Schroeder. Josh Schwartzentruber. Thomas Mick. Dominic Quinones. John Christensen. Garrett Shart. Jacob Schwartzentruber. Carson Dixon. Holden Stengel. Josiah Kamler. Kyle Artisono. Cameron Dixon. Nolan Weber. Dylan Domeyer. Aaron Mick. Isaac Kamler. Caleb Hendrickson. Blake Schlegel. Reed Richards. Keenan Dixon. Ellen Reich. Riley Shipley. Nate Nelson. Sam Basinger. Glenn Meyer. Jacob Schinholtz. And Sam Markheim. Presenting the championship game ball from Farmers Mutual Insurance is Vice President of Agencies, Andy Kraus.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
These outstanding athletes and their school. Here is the 2017 NSAA Class D2 State Football Championship Trophy. Congratulations, Bruning-Davenport Shickley.
There they are, the champs in Class D2 BDS. Bruning-Davenport Shickley, the Eagles, for the second time in 3 years. They won it back in 2015. Just missed getting down here in 16. Back here in 2017 with another trophy to take home.
Good season, boys. Hey.
Tell you what, you look at that roster. Christensen's still just a junior. They
odds on.
That's a good football team. Carson Dixon, senior. Shart's a senior. But I tell you, Sean Holtz just a junior. Glenn Meyer just a junior. Schroeder just a junior. They've got options.
Absolutely. Final numbers for Christensen: 207 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns along with 64. He averaged 12 per carry. Thomas Mick had a big second half, 6 carries, 142 yards, 3 touchdowns, 23.7 average. And Garrett Shart, with that long touchdown run of 58 yards, had 2 carries for 63 yards and a 31 per carry average. Let's go down to the field. Doug Dudas with the champs.
All right, guys, about as impressive a football game as you're going to see. BDS waited on the line again today. Chris Hardisano, the assistant coach, the co-head coach, I guess we should say. Coach, congratulations. What was the big difference between the state championship this year and the one you guys were able to attain 2 years ago?
Oh, man, I don't know. There was nothing really big in the, I guess, these guys, I guess, feel they kind of got cheated last year. And they found, I mean, really kind of similar. Both teams found a way to react and get back here. So both teams fought hard in the offseason, through the regular season, through the playoffs. So it was really, both teams really worked their butt off.
Yeah, really a play away from being here 4 consecutive years. Were you even a little surprised at how good a start you guys got off to today, both offensively and defensively?
You know, they've surprised me all the way through the playoffs. This is the 5th game that we have come out like that. You know, every game through the playoffs, those first 4, we did the same thing. I mean, we grabbed the lead and grabbed the momentum right away in the first quarter.
Well, Coach, congratulations on another state championship. Well done.
Well, thank you guys. This was fun.
Well, let's talk to a couple of the stars of today's game. And first, we'll bring in the senior here in Thomas Mick. And Thomas, boy, once you got the corner, nobody was going to catch you today. Tell us a little bit about your game today.
It was a good game. We came back with a lot of experience from last year. And we just, like I already said, we felt like we got cheated last year. So we came out and we gave it our all and played our best.
A lot of speed on this football team. Did you know that you might have this success coming into today?
We knew we were fast. And our coach, Mr. Roeder, said we look faster on turf, so we felt like we were faster. I don't know, we might have been, but it was fun.
And how about, there's not a ton of seniors, but what a great bunch of seniors you've got on this team.
Yeah, we got 7 seniors, and we just felt like we got cheated last year, so we came back, more experience, had it in ourselves all year, and we wanted to get it.
All right, go celebrate with your team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, here's a guy they couldn't bring down. We talked about his passing all day today and how he's done such a great job all season. And John Christensen did it with his legs a little bit today. John, did you think that was going to be the game plan coming in?
We knew we're faster than them, but I got to give all the credit to my line. They did a great job today. They got all the blocks I needed to break free. And what happened? What happened?
It was a pretty physical football game out there, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Blue Hill is very physical.
Tell me what it means to do what you guys did, because I know you really wanted to beat Falls City Sacred Heart in the rematch from last year. to get here, but then there's still one more game to win. Tell me what the last week was like to make sure you were ready to finish the job today.
We knew we had a job to come in here and get the job done, so that nothing was on our mind except for that, and we came and performed great today.
All right, John, go congratulate the rest of your team, and good luck next year. Congratulations on a great game today.
Thank you.
There they are, BDS 58-23, winners of your Class D2 state championship. And as we said, guys, one play away maybe from last year's semifinals in the final minute of having 4 consecutive trophies down here. Back up to you.
All right, thanks, Doug. Yeah, that's quite a run. 3 times down here in the last 4 years, 2 championships, and the time they didn't make it down here last year, it was a late game loss to Falls City Sacred Heart, the team that went on to win it.
Yeah, that's a great group of kids right there, and they receive instruction well, right? You watch them deal with the coaches, and anytime you have 3 guys go for about 400 yards, and Shart 31 a carry, Menick at 24 yards a carry. Christensen 13 yards a carry. That's a super football team.
Those seniors on that team right there finished their career 37-1. An amazing run for those state champs. Want to remind you, coming up later tonight, 7 o'clock, right back here on NET, we've got the Class B state championship. Scott and York should be a good one. Scott survived some late season tough games to make it down here. York has continued to run at a roll, but should be a good one coming up later tonight, right back here on NET. Once again, our final score, 58-23. BDS is your state champion in Class D2. And now for Damon Benning, for Doug Duda, and the entire NET Sports production crew, I'm Larry Putney. We'll see you back here later this evening on NET. Goodbye from Memorial Stadium.